uncertainties. What are your reflections on this day about what this means now? Our president hospitalized for coronavirus.
Hello, and good to be with you. Yes, it certainly is a moment of uncertainty for a nation who, along with the world, has been dealing with the consequences of this pandemic for quite some time. Clearly, as has been noted already on your program, there are many who are wishing the president well, but it is somewhat unsettling for Americans to be seeing their president, regardless of their politics, he's still their president. And so to see him in a hospital, to see him battling what has been the top news story for all of us for some months now, to be actually afflicted with this disease. That is something that obviously everyone's watching very closely and on pins and needles to see what the next couple of days hold for him.
And Meg, it's exactly 1 month until the American election. The president cannot campaign, obviously, at this moment. What does this mean for this election, which has been so fraught even up until now?
That's right. For a president who has spent many, many months of his presidency and the campaign that preceded it on the road in large events, holding large-scale rallies with thousands of attendees, this is obviously something that calls an immediate halt to that. So for his campaign style of really being out among the American people, there's not going to be any of that while the president is recuperating from this. So that's certainly a big change. On the other hand, the other side of this, the campaign of Democrat Joe Biden is also forced to perhaps take some considerations. They've pulled down negative advertising out of respect for what the president is going through. But also, campaigns are always full of twists and turns and surprises. But clearly, this is the biggest one that has happened in this year yet. And it's going to be very interesting to observe the changes that President Trump's campaign is going to be having to make and the effects that some of that could be having on Joe Biden's campaign as well.
And Meg, what does it say that the president who downplayed the virus now has it himself at a time when infections are rising in many states across America?
It is a bit of a tricky situation when you juxtapose many of the president's previous comments and statements about the pandemic, about really how serious it is, about how long it's going to last with the current situation. This president said months ago that he really thought that we were through the worst of this, and he's reiterated that very recently. And clearly it is continuing and now is affecting him directly. So yes, that is something that's certainly important to observe and take note of. Clearly, there have been many of things happening with this pandemic that continue to change and we all continue to adapt to. But when someone is personally affected with this, not only him, but also his wife, who has also been diagnosed, then I would imagine that that is somewhat of a wake-up call, maybe not to have changed his previous perspectives or comments, but also to just put a personal lens on something that for him, was something that was obviously one of the biggest things that his administration had been dealing with, but now he's dealing with personally.
Yes. Meg Kinnard, thank you so much for joining us.